Hello, and thank you for serving on your local Extension Board. Fall is performance review season for K-State Research and Extension agents, and one of your important responsibilities as a board member is to provide input into the agent's performance review process. If you've never been a part of a performance review process before, you might be a little nervous. Today, I'd like to walk you through the process, show you the tools you'll be using, and give you some pointers on providing feedback to help your local agents grow and develop as professionals. As a board member, you're one of several partners in the evaluation process. Other partners in this process include the agent, the regional director, and in districts and counties with 4 or more agents, the local unit director will guide the process. You'll receive an emailed link that will give you access to each agent's action plan outcome reports, self-assessment, and professional development plan for next year. Take time to review all of these documents carefully. In addition to monthly board reports, action plan outcome reports should give you a good picture of what the agent has accomplished in the past year. As you review the action plan outcome reports, look for evidence of learning, meaningful experiences, or behavioral changes from program participants that occurred as a result of the agent's programming efforts. The agent's self-assessment will provide the agent's perspective on their progress towards goals, proud moments, and challenges they may have experienced during the year. Agent professional development is important to the growth of local extension programs. The agent's professional development plan will show you what trainings and other developmental activities they have planned for the upcoming year. This year, board members will review all of these documents and provide their feedback through a system that we call PAIRS. Be watching your email for a message from PAIRS support. You will receive one email that will direct you to the reviews for each agent in your local unit. The link in your email will take you to a landing page where you'll click on the agent's name to access their performance review documents and survey. Look for the agent's supporting documents highlighted in blue in the middle of your screen. Once you've reviewed the documents and are ready to fill out the performance review survey, click Enter Review to get started. In the survey, you'll provide feedback to a number of questions by clicking on the radio buttons and leaving comments in several dialog boxes. Allow about 15 to 20 minutes to complete each survey, although you will be able to save your work and come back to it if necessary. Once you mark the review complete, you'll be locked out of the survey and no longer able to make changes. You should be able to take the survey on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. Be sure to take the survey within 2 weeks of receiving it. You're encouraged to provide open and honest feedback to help agents grow and develop in their job. Agents won't see your individual responses, but they can be identified by the local unit or regional director. Responses from all the board members will be summarized into a performance review narrative that will be shared with the agent. Now that you're familiar with the mechanics of how the process will work, let's talk a little bit about the empirical and theoretical side of reviewing an employee's performance. The goals of performance management are to assess the employee's progress towards goals, identify areas where the employee performance meets or exceeds standards, identify areas where continued professional development is needed, and to distribute organizational rewards such as salaries and promotions. Motivating the employee is another goal of performance management. By providing feedback in a constructive way, we encourage employees to improve their performance, which can also lead to increased job satisfaction. Even the most seasoned human resource managers sometimes struggle with performance evaluations, and if you're new to this process, you might be feeling a bit anxious about providing feedback on another person's performance. Knowing some of the common pitfalls in performance management can help. Bias is one of the most common problems. Sometimes we're conscious of our bias, and we certainly want to avoid intentionally playing favorites when evaluating employees. However, sometimes bias is taking place at the subconscious level, and we're not even aware that it's happening. One of the most common forms of subconscious error occurs when all employees are judged to be either satisfactory or just slightly above. This type of evaluation is easy for the evaluator because it doesn't require much thought and it isn't likely to hurt the employee's feelings, but it doesn't give the employee a true picture of how they're performing or what they might do to improve. Another similar error in evaluation is the Santa Claus effect. This is the extension equivalent of giving everyone a blue ribbon. As you might imagine, in this case, ratings are unnaturally inflated in order to maintain good working relationships. While the working relationships may remain harmonious when this occurs, it doesn't help poor performers get better. Also be cautious of the similar to me effect, in which an evaluator may judge employees more favorably when the employee is similar to them, has much in common with them, or perhaps works with the program area they're most familiar with. Another form of bias is called the spillover or halo effect. In this instance, an employee's entire performance is judged to be good because they do one aspect of their job especially well. The opposite is true when an employee's overall rating is downgraded because of one poor incident or area of performance. We cannot assume that just because an employee leaves a good first impression or has a poor evaluation in the beginning, that their performance won't change over time. The recency effect occurs when the evaluator bases the entire evaluation off of their most recent interaction with the employee. To guard against these forms of bias, the evaluator should look at all aspects of the employee's performance and do so throughout the year. Be sure to take both your personal interactions with the agent and their written reports into consideration as you complete the evaluation. Evaluators should also guard against the comparison-contrast effect in employee evaluations. This form of bias exists when employees are compared to each other instead of an evaluation instrument. People and their job tasks are different, so evaluators must take care to evaluate against a standard. We never want to bias an evaluation on the basis of race, ethnicity, gender, or any other personal attribute. Performance reviews should focus on the employee's work performance. Being aware of these types of bias can help you avoid them when completing an evaluation. It's always helpful to the employee when you can cite specific examples to back up the ratings you have given. While you don't have to provide an example for each rating in the evaluation survey, it's important that you can cite specific examples of particularly outstanding or poor performance. As you complete the evaluations, it's also important to remember that this is a confidential process. Evaluations shouldn't be discussed with friends or family members and should only be discussed with other board members in an executive session. If you have questions as you go through this process, be sure to contact the local unit or regional director. Thanks again for the time and effort you devote to being an Extension board member. The work you do is important to K-State Research and Extension.